everybody, and welcome back to Tyrion, Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. It's trial time. Good hour, shiver, one neckrave. I reviewed the proceedings from yesterday. We reviewed the trace of necromancy and not being able to defend. Which crazy by witness uses necromancy to attempt to heal the victim. The victim was seen by witness right after her time of death. This could only be explained by the defendant using necromancy to animate the victim's body. This leaves the question, where did the murder take place? Does the prosecutor have an answer for this? Based on several witness testimonies, it is very likely that the murder took place in the library. First, I'd like to remind the court where the victim was sighted before the body was found. It began when the victim had a meeting with the headmaster near the center of the building. According to this guy, less than an hour. This brings us to the statement of the next witness, a student at the academy. This student saw the victim walking in the hallways. I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading to the library. It's a flashback. I don't need to read it in the voice. Which means that our first witness saw Bellwether leave the headmaster's office. Presumably, this would have happened after her meeting there. Which would this time encounter at around 1 p.m. The other event is the discovery of the body, which was when Valentina Yanis contacted security. I'm also not doing this voice. You remember when I read this, don't you? She contacted security. Whoop-de-doo. Who's as we've already established, this event occurred at 3:04 p.m. But the significance of this time is in what occurred before the body was discovered. The second witness, a member of the cleaning staff, spotted the victim in the West Wing hallway. That's the face, by the way. This means something kind of must have happened no later than 2:30 p.m. And this implies that the victim was near the library between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. According to the defendant's statements, he was in the library during this time period. Furthermore, the time of death was at 2:07 p.m. This means that the second witness must have seen the victim's animated body. Right? I hate you. You should clearly talk to me, Stephen. What do you have to say in your defense, Mr. Cuthbert? The prosecution's argument is definitely well thought out, Your Honor. However, it is entirely predicated on the testimonies of all the witnesses involved. Serious deductions has to have a hole somewhere. Since your conversation yesterday, you've had a feeling that Miriam is hiding something. Miriam... Oh, the Franziska. If you want to get to the truth, you'll need to drag that out of her through a cross-examination. Your Honor, to test the validity of these claims, the defense would like both of these witnesses to testify. The defense calls Miriam Frege to the stand. Well, what? At the mention of her name, the judge's face turns a bit pale. I had a feeling it would come to this. I do not, Your Honor. Very well. Please escort Lady Frege to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the... You little snakes! How dare you deceive me? Oh, it looks like she found out. I had the opportunity to brief the witness beforehand. Miss McCoy, for the record, I told you to exercise discretion. It did not mean that you should impersonate a member of my family. Yeah, sorry about that. I gave you all of the tea that I imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. I demand that you return it to me. No, you gave them to me. They're legally mine now. Sure, what is your business? What your business is, Mr. McCoy? But I'd ask that you please handle your personal disputes outside of the courtroom. Anyways, Miriam, would you please testify to the court about your encounter with the victim? Very well. I was working on a research project in my dorm room when I decided to take a break. I left my room and went on a walk. That's when I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. She was walking in my direction, so I greeted her and she responded in kind. After that, she headed towards the library. A short time after that, I went back to my room and continued my work. However brief it was, the witness's testimony verifies two things. One is that Miss Frege saw the professor exiting the headmaster's office. The other is that she witnessed the victim head toward the library. This gives us a rough timeline of where the victim was before her death. Yeah, seems interesting. Bellwether really entered the library that day? You feel like you would have seen her there if she did. Did anything seem off about her? No, but it was a very short encounter. It is not as if we've stopped to have a conversation. We said that we greeted her and she responded. What words did she use? Well, why is that? Miss Frege, it's possible that someone used illusion magic that day. Every detail about the victim's interactions could be important. Well, I bid her good morning, and she said good morning in response. After that, she headed toward the library. The testimony seems pretty straightforward, but she could still be lying. I'm honestly not sure. We'll just have to focus on the statements about how Bellwether acted. Right. This is the one where she actively talks about Bellwether's mood. So we should talk about this thing that's totally gonna get us, you know, stabbed in the back one day, but still.
Objection!
Your Honor, it's clear that the witnesses contradictory, this is the piece of evidence of proof. Shit. She responded in kind. Okay, let's go through all the evidence. Moonstone, constructs. Oh, isn't that she's a bitch?
Objection!
Sorry, I'm really focusing in here. I shouldn't have been doing that. Really thought it'd be this. I guess I'm stupid. You're not? Oh. Oh, this plan. Sure, limitation. Let's read this out. Bellwether in the hallways. Bellwether spent time in the library. Also get murdered Bellwether. And his witness Bellwether walking towards lecture hall 2B. And his sister discovers Bellwether's body. Makes sense. Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. That makes sense. Oh, yes, that entirely makes sense. Okay. Shit. Let's keep pressing. Was this research project a part of your schoolwork? It was an independent study to develop a new conjuration spell formula. The project is being sponsored by the Crown Prince himself. I wasn't aware that he was involved in such a study. Of course you wouldn't. Did you expect to know every aspect of his life, dear Arya? Ooh. If you don't keep an eye on him, House Freyja might just steal him from you. As if His Highness would align himself with your rapacious family. Our baking houses form the economic infrastructure of our kingdom. Perhaps he'll come to the Steelwinds if he needs a clear den of goblins. Oh, God, please, just anything else. Of course, Your Honor. So is that the betrothed that they were talking about? I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. And you're sure that you saw her exit the headmaster's office? Yes, I remember it clearly. I was surprised that she was still meeting with the headmaster at home. She must be talking about how they were plotting to replace him. Did you interact with the professor at all, Miriam? Alright, Professor, I'm going to reread it. Yes, like I said, it was a very short encounter. Did she say that? So she did say something. Only happened over a few seconds. Witnesses' interactions are not what's important here. What matters is that she witnessed where the victim was coming from and where she went afterward. Into the library. So into the library, there's not much else in the direction. The testimony of Jan Hughes, we know that she later came from the library. If she didn't enter the library, she was in that area for more than an hour. How long did you leave your dorm room? Only for a few minutes. I try not to let my breaks go for too long. And you didn't see the professor again after your first encounter? No, I did not. Good morning. There was something about how she's no longer chill with the Freyjas, right? Oh, okay. So her good morning and she responded in kind. Why did she say that? So she said something for over a few seconds. Why doesn't she witnessed where the victim was coming from and where she went afterwards? Maybe I sure I did it right, because I can't see it being anything else other than where is it? Anything other than this?
Objection!
Simply this line. This doesn't have anything to do with her personality, really. It's different. Not important. Let me try that. When she died? Sense. So she would say something. Right, that's stealing stuff.
Objection!
Yeah, okay, I didn't think so. Could it be... anything to do with the evidence?
Objection!
Shoot. Oh no, am I stupid? I went back to my room and continued my work. It has to be this one. But I've done everything I can think of.
Objection!
Seriously, it's not this. This one lines up. Oh. She headed to the library. Some talk about her. Something was off. What would imply that Bellwether was acting off?
Objection!
No.
Objection!
What would Bellwether talk about? So this.
Objection!
What? That's stupid. Fuck off. Alright, what's the logic here? Miss Frigga, if I recall correctly, you have a habit of getting absorbed in your work. What does that have to do with anything? So much so that you'll even lose track of the time of day. Yes, but what does that have to do with my testimony? Earlier in today's proceedings, the prosecutor made the following argument. Our first witness saw Bellwether leave the meeting with the headmaster, which would time this encounter around 1 p.m. Miss Frigga, if you had said good morning to the professor, you would have been mistaken. Is this seriously what they're fucking... No. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, God. Really? That's what we're doing? Oh. That makes me unpleasant. You're really doing that to me, huh? Alright, sure. Let's roll with this. Because that encounter would have happened only during the afternoon. And your point is? You said it yourself, Mr. Cuthbert. The witness simply lost track of time. What the witness said isn't what is important here. The significance is in what the professor said in response. She had just come out of a meeting that was scheduled for noon. She would be well aware that it was no longer morning. So why would she respond good morning? Wouldn't she have corrected the witness? The encounter was extremely short, and the victim's mind may have been preoccupied. She could have easily responded to the witness without thinking. I'm going to be honest, I kind of agree with her. It's not hard to believe that they were both confused at the time. It's definitely a stretch. I still can't shake the feeling, definitely a stretch. Still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. Every time you ask her about how Bellwether acted that day, I picks something up. There has to be something. How about the fact that she had a whole, hey, this person sucks sheet right on a person. Miss Frigga, you haven't been entirely truthful in your testimony, have you? That's just absurd! What reason would I have you lie? You just need to know where she didn't care! What the fuck? Press A to just... G does it too. Whoa. This isn't the game! Every detail about how she acted is important, Miss Frigga. What aren't you telling us? Mr. Cuthbert, you have no basis to accuse the witness of perjury. Yeah, true! Miss Frigga, you're lying about how Bellwether responded to your reading, aren't you? Fine. It doesn't make a difference. What she did was forget. All she did was yell. Miss Frigga, is it possible that Bellwether's response was less than friendly? What do you care? What difference does it make? You seem being so persistent. Your job is to make sure every part of your testimony is truthful. Every detail matters, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Really, Cuthbert, shut the fuck up! The professor yelled at you, didn't she, Miss Frigga? So what if she did? I mean, I'm sorry, but there's no going back on what you just said. So you do admit that she yelled at you? You impotent little... Yes, I admit it. The professor didn't greet me back that day. Oh, good morning, Professor.
Be quiet.
Ugh. She yelled at me to be quiet. But until then, we had always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. But that's it. Everything else I said was the truth. You believe me, right? I did see her coming out of the headmaster's office and walk towards the library. That part is true. So she wasn't lying about that. So, is that all, Mr. Cuthbert? What do you mean, is that all? You badgered this witness, also you could prove what exactly? The witness committed perjury. The witness changed a small detail of her testimony, a detail that is inconsequential to the case. It was clearly an act with no malicious intent. That she's true. For similar thoughts, it's hard to disagree with that. You're so sure that the eye would lead you somewhere, but the person was only lying to save face. The witness saw the victim leave for the headmaster's office and head toward the library. Do you have any concrete evidence to refute that, Mr. Cuthbert? No, I suppose I don't. Wait, is this really okay? At this rate, this will be the only chance we have to cross-examine her. I don't think she's lying. I was really pushing my luck earlier. If I continue pressing her, the judge might actually charge me with contempt. Miriam isn't the one that's lying, though. Let's have no further questions from the witness. The prosecutor stays silent for a while. She looks almost disappointed. Very well. Miriam, you are dismissed. Who did it then? Actually, I kind of want to take a second. I was going through this like while I was sleeping last night. There's my two biggest suspects, right? I don't think it's Eris because I relooked at my footage for episode 1, and I saw that Eris's face was on chapter 5, which makes it. I don't know if it's an update or what, but the fact that it's no longer her face on chapter 5, considering all the freaky ghost shit she's already done, it's like I don't know if like the game updated and that's just how it is for everyone everywhere now, or if like I progressed far enough in the game where it's like the game changed. I kind of want it to be the second one. I think it might be the first, but it'd be so cool if it was the second one. And she like, no, I'm clearly not doing anything shady. So it's not her. She's unless she is murdered like everybody, but I don't think it's her. She's probably the one behind whatever Steelwind the cases that Steelwind's been taking part of, the one that Oren was telling us about last time. It's not these two. We've already settled their issues. It's not Wallace. He's the defendant after all. I don't think it's Francisca. It doesn't make sense. There's the whole thing with the weapon being the sword, and her mostly telling the truth and seeming like a good person. Also, I do think that was her in the chapter 4, that's interesting. But so maybe she'll also become like a long-standing character, considering her relationship with Steelwind's betrothed. I guess that adds up. What's really sorry. What went down my table and made a weird squeak noise. So that leaves Theodore Redmond and Jan. I don't know who I think it is between the two. So far, I feel more like leaning towards the headmaster, just on the pure basis of like there's more motive there, immediate motive, right? I mean, maybe Jen has some sort of secret backstory or whatever, but she was trying to get the headmaster fired. Everybody hated her. that just is what makes sense in my head. Is that, and also, he's the headmaster. He's got to be good at math. Does he have magic? Yeah. Oh, literally, he can do illusion magic. He would have good knowledge of everything. That seems to fit. Meanwhile, Jean, yeah, no work in art. Maybe that can change later. Because, I mean, forgot to switch Valerie. That's fine. Jean. So maybe it'll be like, oh, he also secretly can do magic, but that doesn't make. I feel pretty confident in saying it's Theodore. But let's continue. I'm gonna make this one a little bit longer. The judge reads us how to relief us the young nobles escorted out of the room. Now, with that out of the way, what else do you have, Mr. Cuthbert? I have to press this to make it stop, like, the screen started to get all blurry. I'm going to refute the prosecutor's theories to cast doubt on one of the witnesses' testimonies. It wasn't Miriam, then. Steelwind, to test your theory, you must question every witness that saw the victim that day. So with that said, the defense would like to call Jean Hughes to the stand. I hope you understand, Mr. Cuthbert. Your entire case represents on the assumption that one of the witnesses' accounts is incorrect. If your cross-examination of Mr. Hughes leads nowhere, then I hope you're ready to concede. I like the sound of it, but she's right. Let's find something against testimony. Won't they have anything to do with the theory? Bailiff, please bring in Mr. Hughes. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom. Witness, name and occupation. Right. My name is Jane Hughes. I'm on the cleaning staff of the academy. Mr. Hughes, please testify to the court about your encounter with the professor that day. Sure. I saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Wing hallways. It was about 30 minutes before the body was discovered. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was on deck when this happened. Pretty creepy if you ask me. After that, she went into the empty classroom. Well, that was straightforward. Come on, Jan. What are we supposed to do with that? I don't know. You guys are the lawyers. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. That was just entirely the wrong voice. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. There we go. I saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Wing hallways about 30 minutes before the body was discovered. Let's double check. Okay, so that's correct. I need to press yeah. Let's just think this. Let's think this through before we overcomplicate things. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. That makes sense. She was undead when this happened. Pretty creepy if you ask me. Now she went into the classroom. She went into the empty classroom. That also makes sense. Let's press on this. Did anything else look off about her? It wasn't undead after all. That remains to be proven. So, anyway, what the... Anyways, what was her demeanor like? It looked like she was in a pretty bad mood. Other than that, she was tired. But I guess she was just dead inside. Okay. sounds. This might be where we have to prove that the Bellthorn that John saw was a construct. Which, by the way, I think that's my theory. So she goes in at 12. She gets killed there. Actually no, she does it 2. I explicitly say 2. So that's a little off. Maybe that's wrong though. I'll figure that out later. It makes sense that she starts acting weird immediately after her meeting with Theodore. Because we see Freyga, and then it's like, when there's all that BS, where it's like she immediately started yelling at Freyga, which is probably just like a default of the constructs. So, okay, let's keep pressing. I believe you've forgotten a few details about what the professor did. Huh? Oh, yes. I remember anything about this. Oh. Did she touch anything? Did she touch anything? Oh. Yeah, I go for her face and shatter it. That might have been an accident, but she's done stuff like that on purpose before. This detail could be extremely important. Please, add it to your testimony, Mr. Hughes. Whatever you say, man. Speak. Oh, so does she speak? Did you hear her make any sounds? Oh, yeah. She looked over the way. She yelled at me to be quiet. But I didn't say anything. This detail could be extremely important. Please, add it to your testimony, Mr. Hughes. Whatever you say, man. That makes things a lot easier. Which is pretty creepy because she yelled at me. But how could she do that? If
Objection!
Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? Oh, I think she yelled at me to be quiet. What? I didn't say anything. But I had no bad reason to talk back to her. That's the thing, Hughes. The prosecution's theory is as such. The professor was murdered in the library and was reanimated using animate corpse. With a quick illusion spell, no one would notice that she was undead. However, if what you saw was truly the undead Bellwether, how did she speak to you? This doesn't make any sense. Mr. Hughes, undead can follow simple orders, but they don't have the intelligence to speak. Perhaps the witness was mistaken. No! I'm sure I heard her yell at me. But because she said she didn't make any sense. She said it didn't make any sense. Exactly. He didn't say anything, but she still yelled at him to be quiet. Had to be an undead. What other explanation is there? Couldn't have been a major illusion. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to show Shannon where or not going to about bugs. Whatever it was, someone probably used illusory disguise to make it look like that. Does that mean there's a person? No, it was a person lecture hall, Bellwether would have been able to turn himself invisible if she was dead. Whatever John saw needed to be something that could have transported Bellwether's body to the sea. It would also have been needed a mask and the ability to speak. What created Bellwether's voice? Oh, baby, do I have a story for you? Arcane constructs. I just wanted to be known that I called that, which makes up for the fact that I totally failed that first talkie bit. That's it. Hey, Cuthbert. What do you know? It is actually she. Your Honor, the witness didn't actually hear the dead victim speaking. What he actually heard was her voice being recreated using magic. Are you trying to say that her voice was recreated using a spell? Not a spell, Steelwind. It was artificiary. And whoever the murderer is, they had the perfect piece of artificiary available to them. One programmed with Catherine Bellwether's voice. You can't possibly mean... I can quite possibly mean Miss Steelwind. What Mr. Hughes saw was an arcane construct. Perks there! Think of it as a magically activated suit of armor, Your Honor. You know that such a recipe, I believe. Construction don't describe themselves as anything about it to their classroom. Unless someone has been able to do this. But arcane constructs are a different thing entirely. Those suits of armor are extremely large. More importantly, they're hollow. That means that theoretically, someone could replace a victim's body inside it. Ew! Gross! Arcane construct wouldn't just transport the body. With an illusory disguise, it would also confuse and mislead anyone who saw it.
Objection!
I commend your deduction, Mr. Cuthbert. I would have never considered that possibility. It's certainly plausible, but what does this prove exactly? It proves that the body wasn't animated using necromancy. My client isn't the murderer. The defendant is still capable of performing all the acts you described. His compendium contains illusory disguise, after all. There were several students in the library that day. Any of them could have committed the murder. One might come to that conclusion if they didn't have one crucial piece of evidence. I'd like to present a new piece of evidence to the court. Shit. She's pulling out the rapier. Ugh. Gross. Yes, Your Honor. This is the murder weapon. She was saving that for the perfect moment, wasn't she? Really got a flair for the dramatic. This rapier was reported stolen by Miriam Krieger weeks before the murder. During the investigation, it was finally found in the defendant's locker. Wait. He was clearly trying to use one of the possessions in a paltry attempt to frame her. Why, he even stole her locker's nameplate and placed it over his. Damn it, that's not what happened. Your Honor, she's being mean. Honestly, sounds way more possible than what really took place. Basically back to square one, aren't you? Could have pulled out the construct. The construct to do all those things. One, is that really true? Transported the professor's body, someone who's look like that. Even use a pre-recorded voice to make the illusion more convincing. Who ordered the construct that made the body? Anyone have done that? Okay, let's reread this. Voice lines with blinking shades are adjusted by the Academy Headmaster. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Who ordered the contract? Fuck yeah. Several memories flood back to you. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? I think she yelled at me to be quiet. She yelled at me to be quiet. Until had always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. Be quiet. Quiet. The entire time. Shit, dude. We got his ass. Harris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening. Construct's voice is just a series of pre-recorded messages. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, you can't make them say anything other than what's recorded. Only the headmaster can change those settings. No, it can't be him. But it sure as fuck can be, so I'll see you next episode where we're gonna get that bitch. Yeah! This time the headmaster's the bitch, if that wasn't clear. I've been calling a lot of people that word. I should stop. I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, I'm also gonna, arrest him, but calling him a bitch, that's just, a step too far. But I'm ending the episode now. I don't want to make this like I'm ending the episode now. That's goodbye. It's done. It's over. It's done. Goodbye.